Hi there, everyone, and welcome to Paper Wishes Weekly Webisodes. I'm Sara Newman, and I'm so happy you're joining me for this episode of Saturday with Sara. Today we have a really gorgeous collection of Idea-Ology papers and die cuts from crafting icon Tim Holtz. So let's take a look. Now we can start with our package of 24 double-sided patterned cardstock sheets, and you can see swatches down here below on the package, but I thought I'll turn it this way and we can take a closer look at some of the designs. So you can see there's a beautiful vintage style to these patterns. You've also got lots of really nice kind of faux texture designs in here, which makes it just so much easier to mix and match and combine various elements together. Now these vintage designs are absolutely beautiful and so much fun to put to use. The papers measure 6 inches by 10 inches, so they're perfect for card making as well as other paper crafts, and we'll take a look at that today too. So lots of script, some vintage ledgers, advertisements, lots of fun maps and floral designs as well. Just really beautiful and really fitting in with that vintage Idea-Ology and Tim Holtz style. These are a lot of fun to work with. And again, there are 24 double-sided patterned cardstock sheets in here. Just take a look at how pretty that is together. So we'll take a look at some more of these patterns as we get into the webisode today, but I wanted you to have a quick look just to see how beautiful these are. This one is a lot of fun. Okay, I'm going to set these aside for now. We can also take a look at the package of coordinating Idea-Ology die cuts. Now I've taken them out of the package. There are 45 pieces in total, and I couldn't resist spreading them all out so you can see how gorgeous they are. So as you can see here, lots of, again, big, bold vintage florals. You've got some birds and butterflies, nests, and some botanicals. So that's one look, and then you've got some postcards in here as well. Again, more florals. Here's some of the larger elements. So these work beautifully as card focals or for the inside of your card. And then again, here's some more of those beautiful birds and floral elements there too. So as you can see, there are a lot of really fun elements that we're going to be working with today. I just had a blast with these, so I've got some projects to share with you and a couple of demos as well. Can't wait to get started, and I am so glad that you're here. Come play with us. Let's start with a fun tag in a bag project, one of my favorite kinds of projects to make, especially with beautiful pattern papers and gorgeous embellishments like this. So here is my bag, and then inside I have a perfectly coordinating tag shape. And of course, to make this project, I'm working with the tag in a bag cutting die from hot off the press. So let's take a look at this here. I'll set aside my project and we can look at the die itself. So as you can see in the package, you've got 2 dies. You've got your bag shape, and then you've got the tag that fits inside perfectly. So what I love about this, especially with our pattern papers today, is how easily these will come together. So for example, if I wanted to use this map paper, all I need to do is take my bag die, secure this down in place with a little bit of low tack tape, and run it through my die cutting machine. Now of course, with pattern papers, the hardest part is deciding which side of the pattern paper you want to be on the outside and which you want to be on the inside. But once you've made that decision, then you will have a shape that looks like this. And I've just done this from some plain cardstock so you can see. So the score lines will be scored, and of course the outside edges cut. Then all you need to do is just score this. You can use a bone folder or your finger to score that down, and then fold up the bottom and secure everything in place. And you've got your bag in which you can put your tag shape. So I love this with these pattern papers because you can really have so much fun picking and choosing which paper you want to use for your bag and which one you want to use for your tag. So as you can see here, I've used this beautiful pink paper. Now on the inside, you can kind of see a little bit of that vintage advertisement. So for the outside here, I've simply wrapped the whole bag with 2 pattern papers. So this beautiful kind of, I think of it as like a wallpaper design. And then I've matted this onto the kind of faux texture, a dark pink, wrap this around here, and I've inked around the outside edges of all of my pieces with Hunky Dory's grayish ink pad. And I've used this throughout today's webisode because it matches the papers perfectly and it gives that kind of beautiful weathered faux aged effect. So then I've got my focal here. This is a layered circle die cut from the faux vintage paper. And I placed it onto a scalloped red circle piece. Now this floral is popped up on foam tape, and then the leaves are glued flat behind it. And of course I've got a gorgeous script dazzle down there at the bottom. Then for my tag, I've used this beautiful green pattern paper and added a die cut border and a die cut flower image. I have another dazzle and some Hunky Dory Diamond Sparkles gemstones at the tag top just to finish that off. And then on the reverse side, we've got again more of that really cool kind of vintage newsprint or poster font. Really gorgeous. Fun and easy to do. And again, the tag in a bag project is just one of my favorites. Not only can you tuck in this tag, you could also include a note, photos, or a small flat gift. Okay, so I've got another card project that I want to share with you too. Now for this card, I've utilized the coordinating pattern papers to create layers that set off this die cut focal. So this large piece that you see here is one die cut, and I've altered it a little bit with a sanding tool. So the die cuts are a really sturdy, glossy cardstock, and you can use them as is, but you can also easily sand them to add more of a vintage distressed look. And you can kind of see this up here at the bottom and then a bit more down here, up at the top and a bit more down at the bottom. So let me show you this. This is one of the die cuts from the collection. Nice, sturdy, glossy cardstock. But if I just take my sanding tool and gently edge along here, I think you can see that white core showing through. Now you can do a little or you can do a lot, just depending on the effect you want to go for. But there's a lot of really fun altering possibilities here with a sanding tool and these die cuts. So then I've added the dragonfly die cut on top with foam tape for a bit more dimension. I have more of those Diamond Sparkles gemstones at the corner, and everything is inked with grayish ink. Now for my card inside, I have a snippet of map paper. I have a leaf die cut and another dazzle. Now behind all of this collage is a piece of white vellum layered on top of pattern paper, but I'm hoping when I wiggle this a bit, you can see that I've added hints of gold foiling to the vellum. So let me grab a few supplies and let's take a look at a demo on how to do that. Here's another card with hints of metallic gold foiling, which I think you can see here in this background area. And I'm going to kind of tilt this a little bit and hope that the light catches some of that beautiful gold foiling. Now this is a really easy technique and works beautifully on pattern paper, plain cardstock, or as with our previous card, even on vellum. So I have my supplies on hand. First of all, I'm working onto my craft mat. That's going to be important to protect my work surface. I also have some of my Cosmic acrylic glue. This is what I'm going to be using to make that foiling happen. I have my Gold Wow Fab Foil, and you've got lots and lots of foil in each of these packages, and you can go a long way with just a little bit of that gorgeous foil. Then I also have my Distress Splatter Brush on hand too, and this is slightly damp, so I've just had that in my cup of clean water, so this is ready to go. Okay, so I'm going to set aside a couple of things here, and I'm going to bring in just a piece of plain purple cardstock. So this is what I'm going to do my foiling on. I've got a little bit of that glue here on a plastic piece so that we can more easily apply that onto the cardstock. And then I've got a little piece of gold foiling. Now the foil has two sides, so you can see that shiny gold side and then the duller silver side. You always want to work with the gold foil facing you, or that shiny foil facing you. So dull side is going to go onto your surface. Shiny side will be up. Okay, so I'm going to take my splatter brush and just kind of pick up some of the glue on there. And then what I'll do is hold this above my cardstock or pattern paper and just splatter this. I'm just pulling my finger across those bristles and getting that glue onto my cardstock. Now I know it's a little bit tricky to see, so let me show you the result of one that I've worked on earlier. But I've got my glue on here. I'm going to take my foil and simply place this down here. Smooth this down really well. So I make sure that that foil is making contact with the glue. And then I just need to let this dry. Now what I like to do is put it under maybe a stack of magazines, maybe the plates of my die cutting machine, just to add some extra weight on there. And then just let the glue dry. It won't take very long, kind of depends on how big your surface area is and how much glue you've used. So I've got one that I did a little bit earlier this morning, and the glue has dried, and now I can pull off this foil and you can see the result. Now I was a bit heavy-handed with the glue this morning, so you can see I've got lots of gorgeous foiling on here. So the pattern will be completely random, and there's no predictability with this except that you will have a beautiful, distressed, shiny look. Super easy to do. Now I will point out too, once you've used a bit of your foil, you can still keep this on hand and make the most of it. I use these pieces until they are pretty much bald, so you can get a lot of mileage out of one package of the foil. Okay, let's go back to our card and take another look here. So you can see this is the area where I've got that foiling on there, a really nice, subtle, shiny effect. Okay, so I've got a bird die cut layered up onto some leaf die cuts. The bird is popped up with some foam tape. And at the bottom, I've got another vintage style die cut. Now the card base is made with the center step card cutting die. So let me show you this. I was having a lot of fun with my cutting dies on this webisode. So this is the die. You can see it's just one large piece. And what I love about this is that it perfectly fits. Here's the die, and here's one of the papers. Perfectly fits the sheet of paper in today's collection. So you'll simply place the two together. You've got a little bit of an extra edge on here, and I secured it down with a lot of low tack tape. Run it through your die cutting machine and you will have a piece ready to go, ready to fold up. Really simple to do the folding. All of the instructions are on the package as well. And it'll open like so and then fold up like so. So you've got a really nice kind of focal area to spotlight your focal images and any message that you want to include on here. So this is the card outside. Then for my card inside, I have another gold foiled piece of cardstock layered onto a scalloped rectangle. And then I've added this bird die cut and the Just For You dazzle. This card also features some gold foiling, but without the spattering process. Instead, I'm using a glue stick, which is a super easy and great way to get a distressed foiled effect. And that's what I've done on these little bits of foliage. So I've die cut the foliage pieces using the Meadow Blooms die set. And I've got two of these ferns here ready to go, die cut from the gorgeous pattern paper in today's collection. And I'm going to get my glue stick. And I'm going to also use the leftover piece of that semi-used foil, and we can see how you can put this to use as well. Okay, so I'm just going to take my regular plain glue stick here, and I'm going to just simply apply some glue on here. I'm not coating the whole piece. I'm just kind of tapping this on. So there's one, and tapping this on the other. Now you can go for a lot of coverage or just a little bit, just kind of depends on the look you're going for. And then I'm going to take this foil piece and simply place my ferns down on here. Press that down. Again, make sure that there's really good contact between the glue and the foil. And again, just let that dry. Now I've got a piece that I did earlier today where I've got the same two pieces of fern. So I'm just going to gently pull these off. So here's my first one, And then, let's see, grab the second one here. And let me just put these up onto a piece of white cardstock. You'll be able to see that a little bit better. So there you go. Take a look. Beautiful, distressed, shiny effect. So quick and easy to do. All it takes is a little bit of glue stick and a couple of minutes for that to dry. And again, after I've put my foil on top of the cutting dies or the die cuts, then I do put a book or something heavy on top just to make sure that there's plenty of contact between the glue and the foil. Super simple to do though, a great technique to have on hand, especially with vintage and distressed styles of papers and supplies. So then I've just simply tucked these three elements behind the bird die cut. Now this is popped up on foam tape, and that accommodates the bits of foliage here as well as the jute twine that I have tucked behind here. Now this base piece is a series of rectangle die cuts with the top vellum piece kind of folded over and tucked behind the bird. And then for the card inside, I have more of this gorgeous teal paper, which I used for the foliage. And I've got a nest die cut, plus a leftover strip of this map paper. I was going to use every little bit of it that I could. I love it. And the With Love script dazzle. Now I have one more project that I want to share with you, just because I really couldn't stop going with this collection. I had so much fun. So I have a little mini envelope here, and this of course is created with the mini envelope and gift card holder die collection. So here you've got two dies. You've got a narrow one and a wider one. This is the one that I'm using here. And when I die cut this, you can see I've got my envelope. I can decide which side I want to use. All I need to do is just fold this up, fold in the side flaps, fold this up like so. You can glue this to secure it if you want to, and then the front, and then it will tuck into that little slit. Then you've got a really beautiful gift card holder, or you can tuck inside a money gift or notes. Lots of different little treasures will go inside there. So for this little envelope, I have decorated the outside with a little bit of leftover paper here, just trimmed down. Everything is inked with grays, as you can imagine. I have a circle die cut here. Now this bottom circle is actually one of the die cuts from today's collection, and I've got it mounted up onto a scalloped circle die cut. Got a beautiful little butterfly die cut here, a little bit of jute twine here, and then when you open this up inside, I have a little happy birthday message. Fits perfectly inside there. Of course, I'm using one of my script dazzles as well. So again, the size of the envelope is perfect for gift cards as well as little messages like this one here. Super fun and easy to do. So that is our final project of the day today. We have had so much fun with today's collection and just so many different things you can create. I really had a blast. And I want to say a special thank you to our friends at Idea-Ology and to the very talented Tim Holtz. And another special thanks to you for joining me today. We're really so glad you're here, and we're happy you're a part of our Paper Wishes family. Do feel free to leave a comment. We love to hear what you think. Each item can be purchased separately, and you can see them below. However, we've also bundled them into a creative money saver just for you. For the money saver, just see this webisode on paperwishes.com. And if you're watching us on YouTube, have a look in the description box below this video. You'll find a link that will take you to our Paper Wishes webisodes page, and you can see everything I just mentioned. If you enjoyed our video today, we'd really appreciate a thumbs up. It helps people to find our channel. And don't forget to subscribe. We create 3 to 5 videos each week, so there's always something fun to inspire your creative spirit.